Let us pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and the county assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend here, us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and those whose interest you have committed to our church. Amen. Honorable members, we don't have a quorum, so it is provided for in our standing order, and therefore I'll read. A quorum of the county assembly or of a committee of the whole county assembly shall be a third of its members. If there is no a quorum present when the chair is taken at the time appointed for a meeting of the county assembly, immediately after the saying of the prayer, the speaker shall order the bell to be rung for 5 minutes. And if no quorum is present at the expiration of the 5 minutes, the speaker may direct that the bell be rung for further 5 minutes. And if there is still no quorum present, the speaker shall adjourn the county assembly forthwith to the next sitting. And therefore, members, I would request the sergeant at arms to ring the quorum bell for 5 minutes. Order, members. Order, order. Whip, approach the chair. Madam Whip, could you please confirm if we have quorum?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. There is quorum.
Okay, thank you. Madam Clerk, could you please take us through the order paper of the day?
Order paper number
Order paper number 103 of today, Wednesday, 6th September 2023 at 9 a.m. Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 3, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, statements.
Honorable members, it is statement hour. Next order.
Commencement of business. Order number 8, motion. Adoption of the report by Labor and Social Welfare Services Committee on the matter of degrading activities against women traders in exchange for fish along beaches in Kisumu County by Honorable Zakaria Okoyo.
Yes, Honorable Zakaria Okoyo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker and honorable members, pursuant to Standing Orders number 41, 2 of Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders, Honorable Henrietta Bodo requested for a statement from the chairperson of the Committee on Labor and Social Welfare Services on the degrading activities against women traders in exchange for fish along the beaches in Kisumu County, and was committed to the Sectorial Committee on Labor and Social Welfare Services on 23rd February 2023. In the statement, the chairperson was required to inquire into and report on 1, the actions and all plans the County Department of Gender has put in place to provide gender-sensitive fast response points of call in such gender-degrading activities along the beaches, such as Joboya.
A point of order, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Kenoko.
Madam Speaker, I would like to draw to your attention that there is no quorum in the House.
Yeah. Could you please confirm if you have quorum?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I confirm there is quorum.
Thank you. Honorable Zakaria Okoyo, proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I was in the second paragraph, and 1, the actions and all plans the County Department of Gender has put in place to provide gender-sensitive fast response points of call in such gender-degrading activities along the beaches, such as Joboya, can be immediately reported and addressed to give the women traders confidence and protection as they go about their trade. Madam Speaker, the Committee on Labor and Social Welfare is established pursuant to Standing Order number 193 of the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders, and is mandated to oversight over all matters relating to labor, trade union relations, manpower or human resource planning, gender, social welfare, and national youth services. Madam Speaker, as is constituted by the House, the Committee on Labor and Social Welfare is currently made up of the following members. 1, Honorable Zako Koyo, Chairperson, Honorable Ken Oko, Vice Chair. The members are Honorable Alice Wejewa, Honorable Benson Adega, Honorable Eunice Alando, Honorable Mildred Ajumbo, Honorable Emily Oginga, Honorable Seth Kanga, and Honorable Miki Ochieng. The Secretariat, Pastor David Ochieng, Ogutu Crispin, Raphael Juma, Pastor David Ochieng as the Senior Clerk Assistant, Ogutu Crispin as the clerk assistant, Raphael Juma as the researcher, Jessica Otieno as the Hansard reporter, and Zachary Nyalalo as the sergeant at arm. Madam Speaker, the committee wishes to thank the office of the Speaker and the clerk of the Assembly for the support extended to it on conducting its meetings and investigations. The committee also thank the county government, Department of Sports, Culture, Arts, Gender and Youth Affairs, and all other stakeholders for their valuable indulgence in the matter. Finally, I wish to express my appreciation to the honorable members and secretariat of the committee who made productive contribution towards the preparation of this report. On behalf of the Committee on Labor and Social Welfare Services and pursuant to provision of Standing Orders number 182, it is my pleasant privilege and honor to present the report of the committee for consideration by this honorable House. Madam Speaker and honorable members, the committee, pursuant to Standing Orders number 41-2 of the Kisumu County Standing Orders, received a statement request that sought an explanation on the degrading activities against women traders in exchange for fish along the beaches in Kisumu County. And we have an annexure. In the statement, it was noted that there is a widespread degrading activities perpetrated against women fishmongers in the beaches in Kisumu County, where women fishmongers are forcefully duped into dangerous sexual encounters in exchange for fish from fishermen. The practice is escalated by organized cartels of fishermen and established traders who purposely hoard fish and making it difficult to acquire by ordinary female traders, therefore forcing them into sex for fish, a dangerous gender degrading practice commonly referred to as jaboya. Madam Speaker and honorable members, the statement therefore sought for a response from the Committee on Labor and Social Welfare Services on the actions and all plans the County Department of Gender has put in place to provide gender-sensitive fast response points of call in which such gender-degrading activities along the beaches, such as the practice of jaboya, can be immediately reported and addressed to give the women traders confidence and protection as they go about their trade. Madam Speaker and honorable members, the committee held a meeting to deliberate on this matter and resolve to invite Honorable Henrietta Bodo to appear before the committee to shed more light in the statement request in this subsequent sitting. In her appearance before the committee, the committee noted the following from sorry, Madam Speaker. The committee noted the following from submissions of Honorable Henrietta Bodo, the author of the statement request, that sex for fish along the beaches in Kisumu County is not consensual, and that women traders are coerced by the culture, norms, and the harsh economic situation to engage in such degrading activities. That the practice has caused emotional anguish and trauma in the women traders along the beaches in Kisumu County. That the degrading activities along the beaches of Kisumu County has potentially enhanced the spread of sexual transmission diseases and HIV and AIDS. That Nyamware, Ogal, Dunga beaches among other beaches, within the county are example of beaches affected by such degrading activities. Madam Speaker and honorable members, the committee in another sitting to deliberate on this matter resolved to seek response to the issues raised on the statement request from the County Department of Sports, Culture, Arts, Gender, and Youth Affairs. The CEC member Sports, Culture, Arts, Gender, and Youth Affairs, in a letter dated 21st March 2023, reference CGK stroke SCS and VA stroke CCM stroke gender 2023 volume 2 duly responded to the statement request, and the committee noted the following from the response. 1, the department acknowledged that women exchange sex for fish along the beaches in Kisumu County, Joboya, has been and is still a perennial concern, and the fishmongers on the lake lakeside city of Kisumu have sex with fishermen to get stock to sell in order to make a living. That the cycle of poverty, high illiteracy level, and vulnerability forces the older women into the trade to even introduce their young traders or orphaned girls to the sex for fish trade, therefore engaging multiple partners, and that this in turn exposes them to sexually transmitted diseases and potentially HIV infections. That the only spaces where such reports are made are at the police station, which for many who do so the burden of proof remains on them to prove their innocence. That there is need to understand the depth of women and girls' sexual abuse, exploitation, and to make visible by documenting women and girls' experience with such exploitation, abuse as they go about exploiting economic opportunities. That there is lack of awareness on sexual exploitation in its various forms and manifestation. That the department intends to collaborate with the Department of Agriculture to set aside spaces within the beaches for women to put up fish cages. Madam Speaker and honorable members, based on the following findings to the issues raised in the statement request, the committee makes the following recommendation. 1, that the Department of Gender put mechanisms of raising awareness and carrying out community outreach programs on sexual exploitation in its various forms and in manifestation along the beaches in Kisumu County. 2, that the Department of Gender to set up county situation rooms, especially along the beaches of Kisumu County, where all cases of gender-based violence can be reported and handled appropriately within 90 days upon adoption of this report. 3, that the Department of Sports, Culture, Arts, Gender, and Youth Affairs to develop and or adopt legislation and policy directive for protection of women and girls against sexual abuse and exploitation. 4, that the Department of Sports, Culture, Arts, and Youth Affairs to expedite the aforementioned plans to collaborate with the Department Agriculture to set aside spaces within the beaches and empower women to put up fish cages. In conclusion, Madam Speaker and honorable members, the committee acknowledges that the issues raised herein are pertinent and remains a menace along the beaches of the county. The committee therefore implore upon the implementation committee to follow on the execution of the aforementioned recommendations in a bid to scale down such degrading activities along the beaches of the county. It is therefore my honor and privilege on behalf of the Labor and Social Welfare Services Committee to move this motion before the Honorable House for consideration. I would like to call upon Honorable Emilio Ginga to second. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Services on the matter of degrading activities against women traders in exchange for fish along beaches in Kisumu has been presented and seconded. As per standing orders, I want to propose a question, and I propose that the report by Labor and Social Welfare Services Yes, Honorable Beni Haikupete.
Madam Speaker, I would like to give my little contribution on this report. And Madam Speaker, a statement was presented in this House on the degrading activities of our women folk our women fisher folk, Madam Speaker, that is sex for fish along the beaches, Madam Speaker. And when you look at this report, it is condemned as if this is a very serious activity that is happening in our society. But Madam Speaker, when I look at this report, there are no records to show that these degrading activities have been reported to the relevant authorities. In the event of records reported to the relevant authority, how do we rely on the statement and the report? People who are being called the fishermen who hold fish, we know these are not the real owners of the ships, of the business on the lake. These are people who are employed by the owners of the business in the lake. We could have been told that good effort has been made to make the owners of the business know what is happening. Because when we are told that fish is being hoarded for sex purposes, then the owners of the business must be suffering. They are not getting good profit for their business. If that is a real situation happening at the lake, when fish is being hoarded. And we know when fish is hoarded, fish is a product that will easily go bad when it is kept for long. Because we also know along the beaches, we don't have good storage facilities. Madam Speaker, we need to rethink on this report. It may be true, it may not be true. Because we also know where the two sexes are, it is normal for that to be experienced. And when we are also being given a picture of women introducing their daughters to this business of sex for fish at the lake, along the beaches. How many young girls have dropped out of school because their mothers introduced them into this practice? We need such records. Another, we are being told that the agriculture fishery department, it is only agriculture mentioned, but I know it should have been agriculture fishery department, to introduce fish caging for the women. The question is, when we look at the budget of our agriculture fishery department in this country, is there such kind of budget? Are we just imagining that fish caging can be introduced to help our women? No way, because in our budget, that is not catered for. Madam Speaker, we need to say, to present what is realistic and what is backed by facts. Madam Speaker, if they were serious, figures, records should have been enumerated in this report to show the danger of what is happening along our beaches. But normal situation where men, women become friends, that one you can't condemn. And another thing, the real fishermen who do business along the lake, have they complained of the losses they make? That one is also missing from this report. If the real businessmen who employ the jaboya in their business have not been interviewed, so that we get the real situation, how they are making losses because of the bad practices of the people they have employed. We have not explored this, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, the Department of Culture is extensively mentioned here. But this is business. The Department of Trade should have been referred in this report. because this is business being done along the lake. And the report from the Department of Culture that is the number 3. That is page 7. We go to page 8, number 3. That the only spaces where such reports are made are at the police stations, which for many who do so, the burden of proof remains on them to prove their innocence. What message is really being passed here? No report has been made to the police station. No report has been made to the police station. And such kind of activities, when the willing buyer and the willing seller agree, what will you do? Nothing. And when reports are not made to the police station, what will you rely on? Nothing. And read that report. There is no report to the police station. There is no report to the owners of the business. And when you go to report number 4, that there is need to understand the death of women and the girls' sexual abuse and exploitation, and to make visible by documenting women and girls' experience with sexual exploitation abuse as they go about exploiting economic opportunities. These women are exploiting their economic opportunities. How do you want to stop them from that? As the men are also enjoying their situation. That is what the report is saying, Madam Speaker. See how interesting it is. Madam Speaker, they want to create awareness, that is good. When you look at the last one, that the department intends to collaborate with the Department of Agriculture to set aside spaces within the beaches for women to put up fish cages. How will that happen? Cage business in fishing is very expensive. And here they seem to say they are going to collaborate. They should have told us the effort that has been put in place financially, so that the women who are doing business are empowered. They are empowered to land on this cage fishing. In the absence of that, Madam Speaker, this is a mere story. Madam Speaker, on page 9, we are told that is number 2. That is committee recommendation, that the Department of Gender to set up county situation rooms, especially along the beaches of Kisumu County, where all cases of gender-based violence can be reported and handled appropriately within 90 days upon adoption of this report. That is also a wishful thinking. When we look at the current budget, did they allocate any money for that? And they are saying they want to do that within 90 days. Members should know, and carers of committees should know, just making recommendations for the sake of it will not serve the purpose. Tell us in the budget where that allocation was made so that it will be realized within 90 days. In the absence of that allocation, it is a wasteful thinking, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, if I end there, I shall have so contributed. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Oliver Kubra Ward.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I've just read the report. I want to thank the committee for writing a report. But if you look at the document, you'll realize that there's no report giving a clear picture of what is happening. Because I was expecting such a report, I was expecting maybe some figures. I was expecting a population to tell me that maybe in my area, Nyamware, this number of people, this group, this population, maybe a report from the health people to show us the impact, or rather the consequences of what is happening there. At least we work with figures. Because now, from the report, you can't come to a conclusive, you can't give something, at least a clear contribution, because the report is not full. Secondly, Madam Speaker, I want to tell the committee to at least take serious, this is a honorable house, because such a report should be full. Such a report is something that is touching the whole of Kisumu County, because I believe every sub-county is tied to the lake. So we expected something better than that. Madam Speaker, I come from an area where we have fishermen and fisher women, and if you come from such an area, you realize that this is something that has been going on for years and years. And if you see the report, it doesn't have anything linking it to the health department, showing all these things that we need to hear from the assembly. It is sad. So from the wisdom of the assembly, I believe they should redo that thing so that we have a clear report. This is an honorable house. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, if you allow me, I want to request this house that we make it a very honorable house. The report that has just been read is below par. Not even in a village market can that report be read. The chairman himself doesn't understand what he's reading. Madam Speaker, if you allow us, please, let's make this house honorable. The report is very horrible. Being given a report, the committee didn't even step on any of the beaches to confirm anything. Even going to Donga Beach just next door here. And then you come here and give us recommendations. From whom? Who is doing it? Just sitting in the committee rooms cannot give us a report. They didn't go to any of the beaches, and today they are telling us there's sex for fish. Where did they get that information? Which lady they found that was selling sex for fish? What's the name of those ladies? How many were they? Where did they report the cases? Then you come here and give us recommendations. We go and do. What are we doing with those recommendations? While you yourself as a committee didn't even see any of the culprits. Didn't even see any of the victims. Madam Speaker, we should take our work seriously. It's not a matter of just paper trail. We just follow paper trail here and there. I know you are a butcher man. We are talking about...
Yes, on a day. What is it? Okay, proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for according me the opportunity. Even though my name has been mentioned, but the honorable member on the floor would have given us the statement of fact, because he is claiming that the committee didn't travel to the venues. How sure is it that the committee didn't travel to the venues? Thank you.
Proceed, Honorable Gadolimo.
Thank you, Honorable David Buchanan.
Point of
Because
information,
he has
Madam
not read the
Speaker.
report.
Point
Yes,
of
I read the
information,
report.
Madam Speaker.
Madam,
Point of information, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Benipete, who do you want to inform?
The House. Madam Speaker, let it be noted on what Honorable Dede has said. When you go through the whole report, there is no mention of a visit to any beaches in Kisumu County. So Honorable Gade is right. There is no mention of any visit made to any beaches in Kisumu County.
thank you, Senior, for it. Some of us are just paper trail. We just move with the notion that the report has been read and it's good. Not even reading a single line of the report. That is what I know has happened to Honorable Dede. He has not read anything. He's here to support his neighbor, Okoyo, without even knowing the content of what we are discussing here. Madam Speaker, as I said before, I think we need this committee even fewer members so that we become so serious and go to the deep of every statement that is raised in this House. Madam Speaker, if this report will go to this Kisumu County Assembly answered, then I feel I should resign and leave my seat for somebody else to take it. This is below par. Even our women group doesn't do that size of a report in their reportings. Madam Speaker, allow this House and allow the committee to go back, redo their job, and give us a report that we can adopt in this House. Thank you.
Yes, I can see Honorable Nyauke and Honorable Komudo. Komudo is a senior member. Hello, continue. Yeah, age-wise, he's senior. Okay.
No, you...
Proceed, Honorable Komudo.
Excuse me. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, Madam Speaker. Again, I want to remind my younger brother that indeed I am older. Reverend Tom Nyauke, Mheshimiwa, please take your seat and be patient. Many thanks, Madam Speaker. Many thanks to honorable members. I wish to make a slight contribution in this subject matter, very slightly, and while I will not seriously criticize the committee, it's true they have done some work, but as expressed by my colleagues, it would be better to talk from the factual point. Again, I am a bit worried. This report is coming out without the proper accuracies checked into. The reason being, we are discussing about our mothers, we are discussing about our daughters, we are also discussing about our spouses. Unless somebody is very sure it is a dirty situation to discuss this kind of a report without tangible evidence. Should a matter arise, legal-wise, it's so complicated. If we call upon the committee, go back to the drawing board, and like one of my colleagues said, you never know. When you see people playing football or netball, they are enjoying it. Why would you go to accuse them in some other corner that you are doing a report regarding the hobbies? Remember, what we are discussing here could be part of the hobbies for some of us human beings. And indeed, who tells you they were not happy when they engaged themselves into this? And even if they did so, ask people what is being done at Gikomba Market in Nairobi for them to get a new bill. Probably the same things are going on. Has it been taken to the National Parliament or any county assembly of Nairobi to discuss the same? So let's be practical. The report is good, aimed at to gear towards a good direction, but let's have the tangible evidence on site. Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you so much, honorable members.
Yes, Honorable Nyauke.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'll not be very far away from what my colleagues have put forth, Madam Speaker. I'll, however, concentrate myself on the recommendations that have been given by the committee. Madam Speaker, this subject is of very serious interest to me because I happen to have participated in a research which was done by IFRC, that is International Federation of Red Cross, on trying to look at the impact of HIV
and 8 along the Lake Victoria beaches. Madam Speaker, if at all our committee members dared to visit some of these beaches physically, the recommendations that they have given forth here may not have surfaced. Madam Speaker, there is a lot of it to find out from there. If you look at their investigations, they were more or less at least making some sense. But to come to recommendations, then you find that now they have deviated from what they were really investigating and giving a solution on what they didn't find out. Madam Speaker, I did even participate in the interview, direct interview to the fishermen, and again, even to the ladies who are purported to be their girlfriends. Madam Speaker, you can't just walk there as a lady and then you say you want to offer them sex to get fish. That also does not happen, Madam Speaker. What they do agree is that the fisherman there happens to be a boyfriend of another fish seller. So there's some kind of an agreement of what they're doing. If you go there as a new woman, you may even live there without even buying fish. Nobody will be ready to give to you. So it is bigger than you can see from your literal eyes. So I would also request that the committee take this matter very seriously. Maybe they just assume that it is not as serious the way it is. But we would beg them to be a bit more serious on this and come up with serious recommendations that is going to help our sisters, our mothers, our brothers, our sons, and everybody, those are working around those beaches. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Regina, I've noticed you, but allow me to give Honorable Enrique this opportunity.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you all the members of the County Assembly of Kisumu. I didn't know that the report was to be discussed today, but I've just walked in and found out that it is what is being discussed. We gave a statement. I think it's now about 4 or 5 months since we gave out a statement. And the statement was committed to 2 particular committees. I'm not sure what the recommendations are. So maybe as the member who brought in the statement, I would just like to request the committee concerned to kindly read the recommendation so that I get to be no because I wasn't here, so I'm floating. I don't know what is happening, but I can hear members discussing about fish. So
Honorable Enrique,
just a minute.
Excuse me, Madam Speaker.
I want advice accordingly. Honorable Henrietta, you are late. The report has been read, so you are the one to find out what the recommendations were. No, the report is there.
It's where, Madam Speaker?
It is on the wall, 3rd Assembly. Just take your time and go through it.
Madam Speaker, I don't have my phone with me. That is why I'm asking for that. But even if I have, I don't have my glasses to read. Kindly.
Order, Honorable Henrietta.
Order members.
Order.
Kindly just read for me just the recommendations.
Order.
So I get to know so that I can comment on what I understand. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Okay. Honorable Henrietta, now that's not our problem. Ask Honorable Mildred Ajumbe is just seated next to you to help with your phone so that you can go through the report. Let's proceed, honorable members. Honorable Regina Kisito.
Madam Speaker, she doesn't have glasses, Madam Speaker.
Order, members, order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Okay. I'm touched by a statement made here that the CEC Sports and Youth Affairs, in a letter dated 21st March 2023, referenced that one, duly responded to the statement request, and the committee noted the following from the response to: that the circle of poverty, high illiteracy levels, and vulnerability forces the older women in the trade to even introduce their young daughters or orphaned girls to the sex for fish trade, therefore engaging multiple partners, and that this in turn exposes them to sexually transmitted diseases and potentially HIV infections. Madam Speaker, this is a very heavy statement. And I hope that by the time they were coming with these statements, they went to the ground and found out that this is the exact thing that is happening. Because I can say that I'm a person of interest. One, I'm a youth. The girls are affected, they are youths. Two, I'm a woman. The people they are mentioning here are women and girls. So please, when we come with such statements in the assembly, it means we've gone to the ground and actually found out that this is the actual thing that is happening. So being that I'm a person of interest, I'm interested in knowing the number of girls that are affected and the number of women that are affected by the same, so that we can take actions. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Member Wadi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I've heard the contribution of members. And if as contribution made by Regina is anything to go by, and Honorable my senior, Gado Lema, I think the report is not very detailed and conclusive. What would have been done, because a statement or allegation had been made that our children or our women are being abused, you would have gone into details and investigate further and even approach the minister or whoever it's agriculture who made those statements to tell you where these reports came from, and you interrogate further and confirm or give a report that those allegations are lies. That way we would be leading this house in the right direction. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Sorry, thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Jennifer Bono, Deputy Whip.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. May I call them over to reply?
Honorable Sakaria Koyo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'm so pleased and happy from the, with the contributions which we have heard from honorable members. Madam Speaker, indeed, it's very, very right and to poke holes in a report. But sometimes, Madam Speaker, may I wonder aloud why we have not gotten the gadgets which would allow members to have this or to be able to read this report online. Madam Speaker, I would ask the people concerned to hasten, even if it's procurement or whatever process they are doing, so that they can bring the gadget, and I mean the tablet, so that the members can have the pleasure to read the reports before they come to the House. And these would go to direct to the Honorable. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would appreciate the contribution I had from Honorable Tom Nyaoke and Honorable Regina Kizito. Madam Speaker, it's indeed this report is well conclusive. And Madam Speaker, I want to inform the House that this is a menace which is older than the human being in this earth. You remember, Madam Speaker, the adultery and all that surrounds this Jaboya thing is a menace which started long before even Jesus was born. And I want to tell you, even the lady who was brought before Jesus, nobody could stand and say the lady did what they accused the lady for. And I want to tell you, it's so hard to go, and the way we did it, we could not get any lady who could confirm that she had done the Boya thing with any fishmonger. So, Madam Speaker, when members want us to give evidence, if we stand any member here and ask, did you do this with your wife at night? Nobody will accept. So, no, Madam Speaker, nobody could come forth to tell us, I've done this with the fisherman to get fish. So, Madam Speaker, it's a bit hard to bring the evidence. I don't know which evidence they wanted us to give, but I want to tell you the report we have is Jaboya thing is real and it happens. I'm happy members agree that almost all, except maybe Moroni, border the lake. And they cannot tell us that they have never heard about Jaboya. Jaboya is real, it happens, but nobody can agree that they are doing it when you visit the beaches. And Madam Speaker, this is why we recommended. We agreed with the report, but we recommended that we need to have another desk apart from reporting this to police station. Nobody can go to a police station. Even if you get a raped lady, they will not agree or confirm to the police officers this happened. So we always have
point of information, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Regina Kizito, it is not allowed, so Honorable Okoyo will proceed.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, we have recommended this, that we open or we get a special desk to report such matters. And, Madam Speaker, I had Honorable Bonnie Pete asking why we did not involve the Department of Trade. Madam Speaker, this is a way of life and it's culture. What we need to tell our people is how to change the culture of doing things, or maybe having Jaboya in the beaches. We cannot involve or reinforce trade regularities, maybe to help the traders not to practice such a menace. We only need to talk to our people and change their way of life. Or if we can help the women, it can happen. And it happens in other areas where women can come with their various groups, and then they can be financed so that they can have the cages in the lake, so that we can deviate from that type of life. Madam Speaker, in my conclusion, I want to say that, Madam Speaker, the Committee of Labor is very competent, and we did a very good job, and we are ready if anybody, any member has any detail which he or she thinks we did not handle, they can just come and inform us where he or she thinks we need to go and get more report about these minutes so that we can find a way of addressing this. Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I beg to sit.
Honorable members, now that the report by Labor and Social Welfare Services on the matter of degrading activities against women traders in exchange for fish along the beaches in Kisumu has been presented, seconded, and debated. As per standing orders, I want to put a question. And I put that as many as the opinion that the report by Labor and Social Welfare Services on the matter of degrading activities against women traders in exchange for fish along the beaches in Kisumu as presented and deliberated upon be adopted, say aye.
Nay.
Aye.
Nay.
As many as the contrary opinion say nay.
Nay.
The nays have it. And the report by Labor and Social Services on the matter of degrading services against women traders in exchange for fish along beaches in Kisumu has been rejected today, Wednesday, 6th September 2023 at 10:12 hours. And I want to direct that the committee go back and visit all the beaches, compile an elaborate report, and inform the members accordingly. And I give them 2 weeks to report back with the report. Next order.
Madam Speaker and honorable members, there is no any other business to be transacted in the order paper.
Honorable members, there being no any other business for transaction, they all stand adjourned until today, Wednesday, 6th of September at 2:30 p.m.